Talking about period of dating and courtship.
Yes.
How long should a man court a woman?
So, well, this will vary depending on I mean, it will just vary. So, for me, I think 6 months is enough.
To court a woman you're going to
Yes.
be with for
The rest of your life.
Yes.
the rest of your life.
6 months is good. 6 months to 1 year.
What of those that do it for 5 years?
Well, you know, I laugh because I actually courted my wife for 5 years,
Okay.
but it's not something I would advise anybody to do.
To do.
Because if you want to go the path, obviously, like I mentioned, I'm a Christian. You know, we are sampled on, and when we say wanted to settle down, wanted to do it the right way. So we have mentioned certain lines we're not going to cross. You know, so you constantly put yourself in temptation by cutting that long. And then if care is not taking you, you would have seen everything you needed to see, and then see finish comes in if you are not careful. So I would not advise anybody to do 5 years, but I mean there are people that are doing it and it's working for them.
And it's working for
You
them.
know, but I really would not advise anybody to do so.
So, Pastor David, what can you say about emotional intelligence? This is very, very important. It's one of the qualities. So, what can you really tell us a little about emotional intelligence in relationships?
It's key in relationship, because when you come into a relationship, it's two different people coming together from different backgrounds, different upbringings. So you need to be emotionally balanced to know that, I mean, things will not always go my way.
Go your way.
So you have to embrace change. That's emotional intelligence. I mean, you have to be strong. You have to have empathy for the other person. You have to put yourself in that person's shoe. It's emotional intelligence. You have to know how to handle conflict resolution maturely. That's emotional intelligence.
Which is actually a big deal.
It is.
Some men don't.
So
women don't.
And that's why you have a lot of problems in relationships. Because we are not emotionally mature. And that was why I defined a man as one, a male gender who is mature emotionally as well. Because really that's really the test of your manhood. When it comes to relationship. The woman will drive you.
Yes, they will push you.
They will drive you crazy.
Yes.
They will push you to that point.
Exactly. So you have to be emotionally stable, and it's really very key.
Talking about family members and relatives, at what level would you say that a family member or a relative do have a say in your relationship or marriage?
At no level, for me, at no level, really. You can advise, but it's left for me to take your advice. But to have a say.
So what? Sorry to cut you short.
Yes.
What happens when we see these things happen in Africa? Africa, where it's the Western world that it doesn't really happen. But here, the mother or the mother's sister has. How do you manage such conflicts? That's where my own question is coming from. Like the man and the woman, because they are definitely going to live forever, and God forbid, your parents or family members will be here for a long period of time. Let's even say before old age comes or whatever happens, you're going to be here for a space. So how do you manage such resolution?
It was part of the things I looked out for in my relationship. Part of the things I look out for is what's the woman's perspective about having children, about divorce, about who brings money in the home, about who does what. So I check, okay, from her home perspective, does she think that now that I'm married, I sit down, it's only the man that brings money, you provide, I do nothing? Or do they think that blood is thicker than water? So as far as you are married, though, he's a stranger. If anything happens, you support us and you leave him alone. So I checked all of those things. Now, any man that allows that, I'm sorry, we have men like that, but I call you a mommy's boy or daddy's boy. Because really, scripturally, the Bible says that
beautiful.
That let me paraphrase. A man will leave his father and mother and will cleave.
Yes, with his wife.
With his wife.
And they become one.
However, there's a place of counsel. Because what the young man cannot see standing, an elder can see sitting.
Okay.
True.
So there's a place of counsel, there's a place of advice. You take all of that. And in the multitude of counsel, there is safety. when you get a lot of, my dad used to say, he person will ask question, no, they miss road.
Yeah.
True.
So, but ultimately, the man, in African culture, the man is the head of the home. Even though in submission is mutual submission. I submit to the woman submits to me. So nobody is a boss and the other one is subordinate. No, but you know, in the structure of the home hierarchy, because I mean, as advanced as technology is, there's never been a vehicle with two wheel drive steerings. There has to be only one. Otherwise there's going to be confusion. So there has to be somebody who steers the wheel.
So who's steering that wheel?
It's the man.
Is
the man.
Oh God! Why do you say man now?
He's the man. But you know, the man can also delegate to the woman as well. Can also delegate to the woman.
So I just feel like we live in a very funny time right now.
Yes.
Okay.
Like compare back then. So what can you really say about now? A man has, we've passed all the qualities of, you know, you've selected or you've settled down for a woman.
Yes.
What's that difference between now and then? Now we have series of divorce cases. People just get married and have 6 months,
And
3 months.
money.
You know, go so hard, you know, gather people together. Do you understand? So what's that difference between now and then? Why are we having so many people that are so impatient with the whole thing?
Yeah.
Okay, so I think things have changed, and one of the ways to show that you're emotionally intelligent is to embrace change. In the olden days, my mother used to sit at home, my father goes to work and bring the money. Now I work, my wife works, the children goes to school. So there has to be a balance. I see a lot of people, there is no, you know, let me tell the audience, there is no best wedding. What we have is best marriage. There is no best. So there's no point of spending money when you know you're not ready, you're not emotionally intelligent. You don't know then you are doing best wedding to scatter again after a few months. So I think we need to invest time in preparing and building marriages rather than preparing for weddings.
Wasting your money.
Spend time in knowing each other. Spend time in investing in each other. You know, when I met my wife, because we waited longer than we intended, we planned to. You know, during that period, I encouraged her. She got chartered. She became a chartered accountant. While I was also writing my other certifications, just keep adding value to your lives.
So,
you know, build one another, and
build one another.
I'm serious.
Yeah.
Following what Mitch said, Mitch said that some ladies can pretend to be who you want them to be just because they want you to see them as, oh, I am the good woman, good lady.
So you put the ring.
You put the ring and they would eventually change. So now talking about this divorce case and all, when a lady changes eventually, how can, and the man still loves her, what do you think the man can do at that particular time? And he doesn't want to break the marriage.
Still on the part of where you're coming from as a pastor. Divorce.
Yes.
So she has passed the test.
She has passed the test and now she's sitting now as the woman of the house. But she's bringing out the character that she has been closing up for long.
You see, that's where emotional intelligence also comes to play. Because while you are dating,